and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are talking edible gifts, the gift of food, because we all love food, especially delicious sweets and treats that we can gift our family and friends. How better to express your gratitude and love than with a homemade gift? There's always a special feeling about homemade food and no better way to say thank you or I love you. You don't need to be a super chef or spend a lot of money. These ideas I'm about to give you can be made ahead of time, which is even better. Let's start with our candied nuts. Now, it's so hard to believe that such a good and delicious recipe can be so simple. So here, just choose your favorite nuts, the nuts that your friends love, your family love, the ones that you would love to gift them. You just need a variety of them. And we are going to start by placing these in boiling water for just a minute or so. We are going to prep our sugar mixture. So I've got some sugar here, nutmeg and some cinnamon, and also just a pinch of salt. Combine these really well together. Okay. So now I've got my drained nuts. They're nice and wet and they are a little bit softened because that's what we need. I'm going to add them to the sugar and just toss them through. Spread them over an oven tray lined with baking paper, parchment paper, and we are going to spread them evenly all over. So then they will roast perfectly in the oven. We will now pop this into the oven on 160 degrees and let them roast slowly. So once your nuts are cooled and ready to handle, get creative with how you want to serve them. Today I'm serving mine in a simple teapot. Just taken the lid off, I've taken the filter that comes inside of it out, and I'm just gifting my friend the candied nuts, but in a teapot. So I've started putting the nuts in, and just on the edges here, I'm using some whole roses, dried roses. And so continue to add to your teapot or your jar, whatever you're using. And as you're moving along, add those petals. And if you have extra nuts left over, dig in, enjoy them. I actually always make extra for all the seagulls that hang around my house. Yep, my kids, because by the time I'm ready to take these to my friend's house or a family, they've gone through a quarter of it, so I always make some extra ones on the side. Okay, moving on to our Turkish Delight gift. Here, I've used a simple jewelry box, the perfect size for my biscuits. So that's one way of knowing whether this will work for your Turkish Delight sandwiches or not. So begin by placing a ribbon, any ribbon, inside your box. And now we will start making our Turkish Delight sandwiches. When I make these at home for the boys, I simply stretch the Turkish Delight out just like that, and I place it inside the two biscuits as a sandwich, and it's ready to go. But because this is a gift, okay, we're going to put a little bit more care and a little bit more time into it. So this is what we're going to do. Get your Turkish Delight square and just simply press it down with a rolling pin. Okay, what will help you here is the icing sugar. Okay, place it inside on top of one biscuit and place another one on top to form a sandwich like. Take that biscuit and place it on top of your ribbon that's in your box. Once all your sandwiches are ready to go, place them next to each other on top of that ribbon. Tie the ribbon, a nice little bow. Here we can sprinkle a little bit of icing sugar over the top, but you don't want to sprinkle too much icing sugar because you want the beautiful colour of the Turkish Delight to come through. If you have access to some dried rose petals, go ahead and sprinkle them. Okay, moving on to our third edible gift, and we are now going to make these delicious walnut and date loaves. The recipe makes 1 big loaf or 8 mini ones. So if you're gifting it to a special person, 8 mini loaves are just perfect. Due to the moistness of the dates, these loaves keep extremely well. Its presentation is so easy. All we've got to do is tie it with a ribbon. First thing first, you will need to soak your dates. So remove the stone and soak your dates with a bicarb. Okay, these need at least 1 to 2 hours in water before we use them in the cake. So let's start by whisking our softened butter with some brown sugar. So we whisk the eggs and we will add those gradually to our mixture. So now we're going to fold in our flour. Our cinnamon, it's beautiful. Love cinnamon. And some nutmeg. And remember, the recipe is also in the link below. Be gentle with your cakes so we do not over whisk them or overwork them. And this is our softened and soaked dates. We're going to add them. So we're not adding the water, we're just removing the dates from the water and placing them in with the cake. They will be mushy, but that's what you want. You want them to be quite mushy, and they will soften also in the oven. And now also add your walnut and give that a really good mix together. I always grease my tray before I even start cooking, so when it's time for me to start baking, it's all ready to go. So now I'm going to divide this mixture evenly into my mini loaf pan. Your mini loaves are now ready. They're cooled, we've baked them, we've cooled them. If you're not gifting these for another week, pop them in the freezer when they're fresh because they freeze really well. But let me show you how I decorate them. So cut yourself a strip of parchment paper or baking paper, whatever you call it. Start from the top and make your way down. Remember, these are nice and cooled, so they will work well with you. Here you need a little bit of sticky tape. Okay, to sticky tape the back down. Okay, bring the string up and tie that into a bow, just like that. So what you put your mini loaves in is up to you. So this here is just like a basket that I bought with a lid. So get yourself some white tissue paper and maybe cut the sheet into quarters and just place them inside your basket, just like that, creating a little bit of height. Add your mini loaves in, just like that. If you have got these on hand, scatter some whole roses, dried roses amongst them. Place the lid on top. Again, parchment paper that I have folded into threes. Now I am going to sticky tape that, turn that paper around so it is at the bottom. So get your string and place it at the bottom of your gift. Now it helps if you're working on an edge here, okay? Because we can't move the box, it has these delicious treats in it, so we don't want to be moving it too much. And then this is, if you're working on the edge of your bench, okay, go around, come back up and tie your string. Three edible gifts, 3 delicious treats. So easy, so simple, make them ahead of time. And if you gift the candied nuts, don't forget to give your friend the lid because they will use that teapot. You will also find the link below for all these recipes. Make them, enjoy them and gift them, and don't forget to subscribe, like and comment on my YouTube channel.